a graduate of Harvard University and the Harvard Business School. She was recently named among the 50 most powerful women in business by Fortune magazine. Mark recruited her from Google in 2008.
I was at Google at the time.
So did you think at that moment, did you think, well, maybe this is something special?
A few people who I really respect had pointed Cheryl out as someone who could be a really good partner for me at Facebook. But at the time, I was just really interested because I had a lot of respect looking at what you built at Google and wanting to get a sense for some of the lessons that you learned and just figure, even if we didn't work together, how can I apply some of those things to Facebook? But I mean, after that, I think, I went away over New Year's break, and then I got back and I was like, I want to spend some more time learning from Cheryl.
But I think the reason it's a good fit is we spent most of our time talking about, what we both cared about and what motivated us. And I could see from Mark that what he really wanted to build was something that was, fundamentally going to change who we are and how we interact.
Together, they have taken Facebook to its dominance of social media and made it an enormously valuable company worth more than $80 billion. Here's what Time magazine said in 2010 when it named Zuckerberg Person of the Year. Quote, in less than 7 years, Zuckerberg wired together a twelfth of humanity into a single network, thereby creating a social entity almost twice as large as the United States. If Facebook were a country, it would be the third largest behind only China and India. It started out as a lark, a diversion, but it has turned into something real, something that has changed the way human beings relate to one another on a species-wide scale. Facebook has merged with the social fabric of American life, and not just American, but human life. Nearly half of all Americans have a Facebook account, but 70% of Facebook users live outside the United States. It's a permanent fact of our global social reality. We have entered the Facebook age, and Mark Zuckerberg is the man who brought us here. And Sheryl Sandberg joined Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook to help take it to new levels of impact and consequence. Tell me what the mission is today for Facebook. You've got 800 and counting users. It's an extraordinary reach. Someone said it's the most expansive human enabler of communication, or enabler of human communication there's ever been.
That's right.
You're doing well at it, too. So what's the mission? Where is this thing going?
So the stated mission of the company is to make the world more open and connected, right? And the idea is that when you give people this ability to stay connected with all the people they care about, and you make it so they can express new things about themselves or in communication with other people who they care about, then you just open up all these new possibilities. You make it so people can stay connected in ways that they couldn't before. They can learn about new things, whether it's events that are happening in the world, or ability to organize new things, or learn about new products, or new movies, or music that they want to listen to. It opens up a lot of new possibility when you can keep all of these connections open to the people that you care about. So obviously a big part of our mission is just connecting all these different people in the world. And one of the things that we are really proud of is that now 800 million people around the world are using Facebook every month, and perhaps even crazier. It's mind-blowing from my perspective, but more than 500 million people use Facebook every day. And I mean, I just think that's crazy. 500 million people. Yeah, and it's growing. And it's growing every day. And I mean, if you just look back 7 years from when we were getting started, there's no way that we would have
people in your dorm room.
The funny thing is that, I used to talk to a lot of my friends when I was in college. We used to go out to get pizza every night, and we used to talk about what we thought was going to happen in the world and on the internet. And we thought that there would be something like this, right? That it seemed pretty much inevitable that people would have a way to connect, and that they would be able to express all these things, and that there would be tools to make not just a social network, but that every product that you use is better off with your friends. We figured that there would be tools to do that, but the big surprise of this thing is that we've played a big role in making that happen. And when we were in college, we just figured, who are we to do this, right? I mean, maybe we can create this cool little community for ourselves in college, but clearly it's going to be some other company that does
it.
That's
a web within a web. Is it not?
Well,
it's a personalized web within a web.
I think it's shaping the broader web. Right? I mean, right now, if you look back for the past 5 or 7 years, the story of social networking has really been about getting these 800 million people connected, right, so that they can get in touch with all these people who they care about, and getting them signed up for Facebook and all that. But if you look forward for I think that the story that people are going to remember 5 years from now isn't how this one site was built. It was how every single service that you use is now going to be better with your friends because they can tap into your friends, right? So whether it's music services that we just announced this new product a little more than a month ago, and since then, some of the music services that are out there, Spotify has grown from a little more than 3 million users with Facebook to now more than 7 million users with Facebook. Another service called Mog has grown from, I think it's a relatively small number of subscribers, but it's grown by 4 or 5 times in the last month alone. And I think what that just shows is that all of these different products are better when you're doing them with your friends. And think about it. Do you want to go to the movies by yourself, or do you want to go to the movies with your friends, right? You want to go with your friends.
Or do you want to know what your friends like rather than what a whole different matrix like?
The wisdom of crowds to the wisdom of friends.
The wisdom of crowds being, so that's Google versus Facebook, right?
I don't think it's Google versus Facebook. I think it
Wisdom
represents...
of crowds versus the wisdom of friends.
Well, I think the wisdom of crowds applies not just to Google, but to a phase of the web, which was about information and about links. And it was a lot of wonderful things, mostly based on anonymity and links between crowds.
Right.
What does the crowd think? What is
Right.
Ours is just starts from a totally different place, so it is an evolution. The information web still exists, it's still broadly used, but the social web didn't exist before. The social web can't exist until you are your real self online. I have to be me, you have to be Charlie Rose, he has to be Mark Zuckerberg, I have to be Sheryl Cameron. Once we are online as ourselves, connected to each other and our other friends, then you can have the evolution of what becomes the social web. Not just on Facebook, but throughout.
What is it about the people who want to be on Facebook? They want to talk about themselves. What is this sort of essence?
I think that people just have this core desire to express who they are. I mean, I think it's always existed. It's one of the things that I think makes us human. But yeah, and obviously to know what's going on in your friends' lives, or not just your friends, but people you care about, right? People who you're interested in who aren't your friends, who are maybe on the periphery of your social circle. Yeah, I think that those are all just core human needs, and until Facebook, there wasn't a great tool for doing that. But I think that a lot of that, building that up, was the last 5 years. I think the next 5 years is going to be about, okay, now you're connected to all these people, now you can have a better music listening experience, you can have a better movie watching experience, you can see what your friends are reading and learn what news you should read first. All of these things I think are gonna get better, and that's the thing that I'm most excited about for the next 5 years. And if we do well, I think 5 years from now people are really gonna look back and say, wow, over the last 5 years all these products have now gotten better because I'm not doing this stuff alone, I'm doing it with my friends.
And it's personal. It's not just that bringing your friends with you, and then it becomes personal to you. So if you look at how people use most of the web, most products out there, even if you're logged in, if I looked over your 2 shoulders, you see the same stuff, because it's basically produced in the masses.
Is the key
And ours is different.
Is it key to the monetization of the future, the fact that advertisers will believe this is the best way to reach people who are likely to buy their product?
So marketers have always wanted, personal relationships with consumers, or relationships where consumers do 2 things. Consumers buy their products, and consumers tell their friends that they buy their products. Marketers have always been looking for that person who's not just going to buy, but spread the word to their friends. What we do on Facebook is we enable marketers to find that, and then if I do it on Facebook, I'm sharing with an average of 130 people. And so it becomes word of mouth marketing at scale. So people can tell each other what they like, which is for marketers, the thing they've been looking for, I think, for a long time.
So then why do you want to be a public company? Why do you even think about an idea?
I actually think the biggest thing for us is that a big part of being a technology company is getting the best engineers and designers and talented people around the world. And one of the ways that you can do that is you compensate people with equity or options, right? So you get people who want to join the company both for the mission, right? Because they believe that Facebook is doing this awesome thing and they want to be a part of connecting everyone in the world. But also if the company does well, then they get financially rewarded and can be set. And we've made this implicit promise to our investors and to our employees that by compensating them with equity and by giving them equity, that at some point we're going to make that equity worth something publicly and liquidly, in a liquid way. And now the promise isn't that we're going to do it on any kind of short-term time horizon. I mean, the promise is that we're going to build this company so that it's great over the long term, right? And that we're always making these decisions for the long term. But
It will be a
at some point
liquid
we'll do that.
dividend for your...
Yeah, well, whether it's a dividend or not, they'll be able to trade their equity for money. And take seriously is the responsibility of running the company, and we just care deeply about all the employees and the investors who have been there with us.
Has the Groupon experience and has other things changed your sense of the timing of an IPO?
I don't think so. No.
You go when
When it makes
Are
sense.
you ready?
what will tell you it makes sense?
I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah.
How does that?
I mean, yeah. It's honestly, it's not something I spend a lot of time on a day-to-day basis thinking about now.
How do you measure the impact that we now believe social media play in the Harris brand? Obviously, you have to be interested in this because it has a reality and it changes governance.
Yeah.
What have you come to
My
understand about
personal take on this is that social media's role is maybe a bit overblown in that. I mean, the way that I think about it is that if people want change, then they will find a way to get that change, right? So whatever technology they may or may not have used was neither a necessary nor sufficient case for getting to the outcome that they got to, but having people who wanted change was. So, I mean, I hope that Facebook and other internet technologies were able to help people, just like we hope that they help them communicate and organize and do whatever they want to every single day. But I don't pretend that, if Facebook didn't exist, that this would have been possible. Of course it would have.
Yeah, but it was certainly accelerated. And do you know of any effort in terms of where governments, because of that, are trying to shut down Facebook in terms of access?
There are examples intermittently throughout the world all the time, but
And there are places we're not available.
Yeah.
Well, China's obviously a big one. We're
That's a
not,
big
we're not
question.
broadly available.
yeah.
So how do you see that going into China? Because and if in fact it requires some sense of censorship, does that make it don't go?
If your mission is to connect the entire world for all the people who try that, you can't connect the whole world with not China. That's not something we're working on or focused on right now because it's not a decision we have to make. So you're correct that when and if we go into China, we'll have issues, but since for right now we're not available and we don't have an immediate path to become available, these are not policy decisions we have to make.
So it's not on the immediate horizon to go into China. And the reason is, though, is it because of what happened to Google?
So it's not really our choice. It's the government's choice. We're not available because they've chosen
Because
to
they
make
acted
us
a
not
certain way,
available.
you've chosen not to go there.
So it's, yeah.
I mean, and then at some point, I think there would be some discussion around what it would take to go there, and then we'd at that point have to figure out whether we were willing to do that. But honestly, the way that we look at it now is there's so many other places in the world where we can connect more people more easily without having to face those hard questions that, and I think a simple rule in business is if you do the things that are easier first, then you can actually make a lot of progress. Right? And I assume, we talk about running Facebook for the long term, and over the decades in which we hope to run and build Facebook to be a great company, I would imagine this would be a question that we have to answer. But I mean, right now, there's still so much room for growth in a lot of other countries that it's not the top thing that we're worried about right now.
To achieve your objective that you want to do, the expansion, the connection, the advertising revenue, how important and where do you put making sure that Facebook gets more of the best engineers than anybody else, regardless of where you have
First,
to steal
second, and
them?
third.
That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. But
It's really important.
Steal. Attract. We attract them.
If you go to Google and you ask about you, they say steal.
Attract.
He brought you from Google, and you brought other people from Google.
He attracted me.
He attracted.
I attracted. I wanted so. What is it?
You think Larry would believe it was attraction or theft?
Well, people are not property in the United States, so I'm fairly certain he would say. But you're getting at a really important question, which is engineering talent in this country, which there is not enough of. So we would hire lots more people. Google would hire lots more people. Every company we know of has more desire for engineers.
Has more need for the talented
Then we
engineers,
have
and you can't find them.
Can't find
How much of that is because of U.S. immigration policy?
some.
I'm not sure. I think some of it is that, but a lot of it is just education. I mean, I think that there's not enough supply of engineers to meet the demand. I mean, all of my friends who, have younger siblings who are going to college or high school, I mean, my number one piece of advice is you should learn how to program. I mean, I think that in the future, all kinds of jobs, and not even just straight engineering jobs, but all kinds of different jobs are going to involve some element of programming. in school, and I remember the average salary that an engineer, one of my computer science classmates got, and it's gone up at least 50%, maybe even doubled in the last 7 years since I was in school. And I think the reason is that the economy is shifting, and there are more companies that are growing that are these technology and software focused companies, and the skill set of being able to write code is so highly in demand that, and the amount of engineers who are graduating isn't growing at a fast enough rate that the people who are there are just in more demand, and they get paid more.
And we have both an education problem and an immigration problem.
Right.
So
That's true.
it's an education problem. We do not train. We don't graduate enough kids from high school. We don't graduate enough kids from college in this country. And having these kind of skills, we're just absolutely far off. And also, the immigration policy you talked about is very real. So, someone made a joke. We give a huge percentage of the spots in our engineering undergrad and grad program to people from other countries, and then we kick them out. It's like a company. We'd have Facebook training. We train everyone, and then we say, we can't move you. Go work for our competitors. That's what we're doing as a country. People have talked about stapling. We should be stapling
a green card to every diploma.
To every high-tech diploma, because those people, not only do they not change jobs for other Americans, they create jobs for other Americans. I mean, there are so many stories on this. We have one guy named Javier Olavan who works here. He was one of the best engineering students in Spain, nationwide. Came to Stanford to get his MBA, started here, works with us, and he created our internationalization tool. He runs our internationalization projects. We serve most of the world from the United States. The opposite of what everyone thinks is happening. We're not hiring out there to serve here. We're serving. We entered with visa lottery for him, and he won. He kept the jobs here. If we had lost, we would have moved those jobs to wherever he could work. But because we got him a visa, those jobs stay here.
All right, but let me ask this question, which is at the heart of the debate that's going on in America, which is the competition of America with the rest of the world. Facebook came out of America. Apple came out of America. Microsoft came out of America. Google came out of America. Are those things that are becoming those kinds of companies, the kind of company you created, more likely to come from China tomorrow?
I think that there's actually two big ingredients. I mean, one of the big parts of the Facebook story was that, I didn't have to have some master plan at the beginning. I didn't have to have a lot of money. I literally coded Facebook in my dorm room and launched it from my dorm room. I rented a server for $85 a month, and I funded it by putting an ad on the side, and we funded it ever since by putting ads on the side.
Right.
And, but literally just starting small and growing it. So I think you need two things. One is the ability to have engineers, right, and educate engineers who can just try out their own ideas. And the second is the ability to try out their own ideas, right, and the freedom to do that. And the U.S., I think, historically has been extremely good at both. We've led in education, and we've led in freedom and supporting people trying risky things.
Free market.
Right.
And
a sense of innovation and creativity.
Public policy that supports entrepreneurship.
Right.
In America, you can hire and fire. In America, you can start a company without going through endless bureaucratic red tape, even though it's growing a bit. Right? I mean, in America, we've had a country of entrepreneurs. We've set up our political systems. You can start companies, you can close companies. I think people don't always see the cost of increasing bureaucracy
out. And I just think that that ability to build stuff quicker will be a big advantage for us and will help us build better products in the long term.
I want to talk about the future and competition. There are many people who look to Silicon Valley and they say there are four platforms out here. It's Amazon, it's Apple, it's Google, it's Facebook. And what we're going to witness over the next 10 years is a flat-out war between the four of you for the future. Do you see it?
I mean, people like to talk about war. There are a lot of ways in which the companies actually work together. There are real competitions in there, but I don't think that this is going to be the type of situation where there's one company that wins all this stuff.
You're already getting into each other's businesses.
I mean, yes and no.
There's something called Google Plus.
Yes and no. I mean, I think, Google, I think, in some ways is more competitive and certainly is trying to build their own little version of Facebook. But, when I look at Amazon and Apple, I see companies who are extremely aligned with us, right? And we have a lot of conversations with people in both companies, just trying to figure out ways that we can do more together, and there's just a lot of reception there. And I mean, I can't think of an Apple product or an Amazon product that I look at and it's like, oh, that's really impressive.
Look at it. Amazon just announced a new Kindle Fire.
I know,
which
they
is their
deeply
tablet to
integrate.
compete with the iPad.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
we don't have a tablet, so we can care less about
there are no borders out here in terms of what you might want to do. Come on, Cheryl.
There are no borders for us, right?
Exactly.
We want everything to be social,
Yeah.
and we prefer everything to be social like Facebook. And so for us, our goal is really to work across. We want to work on every tablet.
Right.
Yeah, this is the important
And
part.
Apple and Amazon, God bless them, they can compete and build lots of different
You
tablets.
found a device and we want to be seen on it.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're Amazon, one of the big strategies is sell Kindle so you can sell more things, right? If you're Apple, a big part of your strategy is biggest industry today that has gone really social, right? I mean, the incumbent game companies are really being disrupted and are quickly trying to become social. I mean, you have companies like Zynga, which are going public soon and will be valued most likely at multi-billion-dollar valuations, and basically all of their games are built on top of Facebook for the most part, and a huge number of other companies as well. So, I mean, does Facebook build any games? No. We build no games.
You say that today.
No,
you say that today.
Actually,
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
we're not going to build any games. So we build.
Well, why are you so sure?
Here's why.
Here's why. People thought that
Tell you
Steve
why.
Jobs would never go into retail, and he did.
I will tell you why.
All right.
Because building games is really hard.
So that's the only reason.
And what we're doing is really hard, and we think that we're better off focusing on this piece. I think that building a great game service is really hard. Building a great music service is really hard. Building a great movie service is really hard. And we just believe that an independent entrepreneur will always beat a division of a big company, which is why we think that the strategy of these other companies trying to do everything themselves will inevitably be less successful than an ecosystem where you have someone like Facebook trying to build the core product to help people connect, and then independent great companies that are only focused on one or two things, doing those things really well.
And most companies can't judge the discipline to do it. Right?
Yeah.
They get big, and everyone wants to do everything.
Yeah.
They just say yes, and then they don't do everything well.
At this point, enter this name, Steve Jobs. I've had been with him at time 100, and he walked over and said hello, and there was someone talking to him, an entrepreneur who was operating. I think thrilled. It was the greatest moment of life ever, Steve. And I said to him, what should he do? Steve said to me, he should focus on his knitting, not try to do everything. Do one thing well.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that conversation? Steve Jobs?
I don't know. I mean, I think. Well, you know, one of the funny things is when you agree with someone, you tend not to talk about it for too long because you just take it as an assumption. So, I mean, I think in some of our conversations, it might have been like, yeah, that thing, okay, yeah, now let's go talk about
So what were
something
the
else.
conversations like? I mean, here's someone who...
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he's amazing. I mean, I had a lot of questions for him on how to build a team around you, right? That's focused on building as high quality and good things as you are. How to keep an organization focused, right? When I think the tendency for larger companies is to try to fray and go into all these different areas. I mean, a lot just on the aesthetics and kind of mission orientation of companies. I mean, Apple is a company that is so focused on just building products that for their customers and their users, and that's like it's such a deep part of their mission is build these beautiful products for their users, and I think we connected a lot on this level of okay, Facebook has this mission that's really more than just trying to build a company, right? That has like a market cap or a value. It's like we're trying to do this thing in the world, and I don't know, a lot of it, I just think we connected on that level.
Did he ever suggest that Apple might buy Facebook?
No, I don't think it ever really got there. I mean, nor would I have wanted to sell it. I remember talking to him.
I think he would have known that.
Yeah, and
I talked
I
to
mean,
him too about this, and like I think
about what? About the buying?
I think he understood Mark enough to know that Mark didn't want to sell a company because he would
Did he
want to.
raise a question with you?
No, but I think having talked to him about Facebook and Apple, he did raise it, but I don't think he would have because he would have understood that about the market.
actually, I mean, I think
like
there was this
Did he ever then do the... Go ahead.
there's this quote I think in the book that just came out about him, where I mean it's I mean it's I mean, I took it as this amazing compliment. I mean, he said, I admire Facebook because they don't want to sell out,
right?
So I actually think that's one of the ways in which we saw eye to eye on what we were trying to do in the world. And I just think because of that, it wouldn't have come up.
You've had, I mean, Microsoft owns a piece of Facebook. You've had an opportunity, I'm sure, to by Yahoo might have worked.
Maybe it's hard to tell, but I mean, a lot of the acquisitions that we make at Facebook are, we look at great entrepreneurs out there who are building things, and often the acquisitions aren't even to really buy their company or what they're doing. It's to get the really talented people who are out there trying to build something cool and say, if you join Facebook, you could work on this completely different problem. Isn't this a more important problem? And for the people who answer that question, yes, they join. And that's how we've had the most success so far.
Let me talk about what you know about all of us. Is this notion that constantly comes up. Is there anything you do not want to know about?
Well, I just don't even think we think about it that way. I mean,
okay. Help me think about it in the right way, how you think about it, because the like button is a powerful tool.
It's not for us though, right? I mean, it's for
advertising.
Express. No, it's not for advertising.
But it's for people. People relate to each other.
I think that this is a core part of what makes Facebook. Facebook is that we really are focused on users first and for the long term, right? We believe that if we build a product where people can connect and can express all the things that they want about themselves, that over the very long term we'll have a lot of people doing that because that's a core human thing where people want to do that, and they'll be very active, and we'll have opportunities to sell advertising and do all these things and build a great business. But none of that is the leading thing that we're pushing for. What we're pushing for is the mission. We think that if we succeed on that, then we're going to build a great business. Now, if I just think that there's
I go back now and build my timeline, and I say, oh, I shared that with this group of people, I actually want to share that with more people or fewer. We are giving that control. So what matters as people learn is that they have control they need to share with who they want, and that's something we are continuing.
But there are also these stories that you read about in terms of if somebody has something on their Facebook page that somebody got access to, and therefore they didn't get hired. Something did not happen that might have happened because they were silly enough or somehow put something on their Facebook page that rebounded to their detriment.
And people make cell phone calls that resound to constituents.
Yeah. Or email as well. I mean,
email as well, or they put something bad on their resume. It's not that people don't make mistakes, but the information you put on Facebook is only available to employers if you shared it to those people, if you shared it.
But once it's there,
there's a responsibility individuals have. Certainly we want to teach people, and people want to teach people to share the things they want to share. I think that if you look at the history of technology, what you always find is that every new technology brings unbelievable opportunities for advancement and living our lives differently, and it's also scary. I mean, one of my favorite stories on this is caller ID. So when caller ID was rolled out, and I'm actually old enough to remember this, I'm going to let my friend over here. Do you remember before caller ID? Oh, that's good. Normally,
you don't remember before caller ID.
No, he says he does.
I remember before everyone had it. So
Okay.
maybe it was.
All right, that kind of sort of counts. But when caller ID came out, there was a big privacy uproar. People thought it was a violation of the caller's privacy that their number would show.
Right.
There was talk of legislation. There was talk of state banning it.
Talk the way you can avoid being seen.
The way you can avoid being seen because it was considered. I don't know anyone who answers a call that doesn't have caller ID now because it's not considered a violation of that privacy. It's considered my right to know who's calling me. Otherwise, why would I answer? And so, yes, when you are an early adapter, an early leader like we are in technology, there is always concern, and you're going to continue to see your
You
concern.
know why I have caller ID? Because when I'm talking, I want them to know who's calling.
Because you
rather
think
than
they'll
unknown, because I feel
correct.
like they're more likely to answer
answer
my
the
call
phone.
if they know it's me.
But that is something that caller ID is widely accepted. It was a privacy uproar at its time.
Okay, so but tell me where the boundaries are about privacy that you think that we ought to take note of at this moment. Because the privacy question most frequently comes back to Facebook.
Well, here's the way that I think about it. I think it's really about control. Right? People have things that they want to share with maybe a single person or a small group, and they have things that they want to share more broadly. And the real question for me is, do people have the tools that they need in order to make those decisions well? And I think that it's actually really important that Facebook continually makes it easier and easier to make those decisions because the demographics of people who are using Facebook are changing as well, right? We started off with these people in college, right, who use computers every single day, and now, as we're up to 800 million plus users, we have people using the site who it's one of the only things that they do on a computer, and maybe they're not computer savvy, right, or they don't want to spend a lot of time trying to figure out privacy control. So what we've done in the last year is we've made it so that anytime you go to share anything, the privacy control is now right there, and it says exactly who you're going to share with. If you're going to be sharing publicly, there's a little globe, and it says the word public, and if you're going to be sharing with friends, there's this icon of view people, and it says the word friends, and you can just click, and you can change that really easily every time you post anything. And back when we were getting started 7 years ago, I don't know if that was necessary because the college students and early adopter type folks just had this intuitive understanding of how the service worked. But now, I just think that the boundaries, it's getting more and more important to be increasingly clear and give people those controls. And that's what we're trying to do. And I don't think we're at the end. I think we're going to need to keep on making it easier and easier. But that's our mission, right? I mean, we have to do that because if people feel like they don't have control over how they're sharing things, then we're failing them. I mean, we're making it so they can't share a lot of the stuff that they want to.
I think it is the case that people talk about Facebook and privacy a lot, and I think it will continue to be the case, but it's because we lead in this area, meaning that we are the most privacy-focused place for anyone to share anything.
Well, no, it's because you have more information about everybody.
Well, Elliot
than
Trade
anybody
has
else.
this great, Elliot Trade has
sure, people have a lot of information on Facebook, but that's information that they put into the service. If you look at companies, whether it's Google or Yahoo or Microsoft, or that have search engines and ad networks, they also have a huge amount of information about you. It's just that they're collecting that about you behind your back, really.
So
Right? And it's like you're going around the web, and they have cookies, and they're collecting this huge amount of information about who you are, but you never know that. And I mean, some of these companies make an effort to give you a
find that
page
a bit
where,
scary?
well, I think it's just less transparent
no light.
than what's happening
Yeah,
on
of course.
Facebook.
The dark.
Right, so on Facebook, if someone wants to target, say, okay, I wanna advertise, like I'm a band and I'm coming to the Bay Area, I'm gonna advertise to people who like a band, and they're going to, those people only see it if they put in that they like that band. On those other services, you can still do that kind of advertising, but you're gonna find people based on what they've browsed around on the web, and the people have little or no control over right? It's really simple. And we're trying to build products for everyone in the world, right? And you don't want to get isolated to do that. We have a very open culture at the company where we foster a lot of interaction between not just me and people, but between everyone else. I mean, it's an open floor plan. People have these desks where no one really has an office. I mean, I have a room where I meet with people, but it has all glass, so everyone can see into it and see what's going on. I don't know, I think that it's really connected to the mission of the company. I think that more flow of information, the ability to stay connected to more people, makes people more effective as people. And I think that's true socially. It makes you have more fun, right? It feels better to be more connected to all these people. You have a richer life. But I also think in terms of doing work, and in terms of learning and evolving as a person, you just grow more when you get more people's perspectives, and when you're more connected and have more of a flow from people. So, I don't know. I think that's really it. I mean, I really try to live the mission of the company and embody that for the company, and keep everything else in my life extremely simple.
It's interesting to watch us closely as I have, like, since I've known Mark over the last 2 years, in some ways everything's changed, in some ways nothing has changed. So, what's changed is, he was on his way to being Mark Zuckerberg 4 years ago, but now he's like Mark Zuckerberg. He's Mark Zuckerberg. Well, you know what I mean, right? Like, we used to walk
Halloween,
around Palo
kids
Alto.
come to his house and knock on the door.
We used to walk around Palo